Man flu is the seemingly exaggerated response that lots of men seem to have when they're struck down by a relatively minor illness. In a new survey, 2/3 of men questioned said they were struck down by a cold or flu far worse than the women in their lives. But of course, 70% of women disagree entirely. The data also shows that on average, men take more sick days than women, 5 per year compared to 4 if you're a woman. American doctors also found that men are more likely to be hospitalised with flu than women are. And they say high testosterone levels may be linked to lower antibody responses when you get sick. Yeah, sure. Right. But what do you think of all of this? I'm on the fence, as you can see. I don't believe in man flu. It's a pile of absolute nonsense. It's just cooked up by men to make women wait on them because that is what they like the best. Right, Dr. Cannon?
I really do think so. we all suffer in different ways and we all experience things in different ways. But I think about all the women I speak to who have very heavy periods, for example, who are going to work and running businesses and having families and having relationships and getting on and getting on and getting on. And you think we do that every month and we're just used to coping.
And men? I mean, do you have patients actually come to the surgery, men who say they're, desperately ill?
I mean, obviously, I look after very stoic men, of course I do. But there are sometimes, I think, situations where, as you say, men do like sort of a bit to be looked after. But I look after, especially older men tend to be very stoic and very sort of hardy.
All right, let's ask you for your experiences, Joanna.
Well, actually, my husband is brilliant and he will say it's just a common cold and he'll get up and do it. But I mean, some of the men that I had working for me, I mean, it was like huge high drama. Swooning. Swooning. I feel really feverish. And suddenly you turn into their mother and you're going, no, you don't have a temperature. Come on, back on with it. But it is totally true. And I think Ellie, you summed it up brilliantly. What we go through as women,
exactly.
I mean, they would be permanently off sick. I mean, they really would.
I'm not going to argue with you because I agree with you. I think you're absolutely right.
And brain fog and all the rest of it that we have heaped on us on our great hormonal journey. Their hormones change in sort of late 60s. They might sort of be a little bit more sensitive through less testosterone. Oh, dear. I'm really struggling.
Okay, now this is a bit unfair to the lovely David Grant because we actually know who he is. We're not just talking about him as a kind of imaginary figure. David Grant is your husband. He's so wise. I really venerate him. I love him. Is he subject to bouts of man flu?
Well, the funny thing is, before we had children, he was.
So
I do think this is to do with the fact that we all here, from the age of 11 to 14, we started our periods. We then had a monthly thing where we had to just deal with stuff, right? Yeah. And boys don't have that opportunity. Yeah. They just sail through without having to have periods. And so, therefore, the first time they're struck down, it really is like they've been struck down. They get a cold and it's really bad. So David, yes, would be sitting there with the lemon drink and barely able to speak. But then once we had children, it's like they're not going to cut you any slack, especially if you've got children with needs. They're just like, sorry, not listening. Yeah. Even when we were like half dying with COVID in 2020, one of our children came into the bedroom. We were laying there like this, and the child went, "You're just lazy. Will you get up?"
Oh, really?
Wow. So, gosh. No chance of parent flu.
How about you, Lizzie?
Listen, man flu, poppycock. My ex, can I just tell you, used to have a bell. He would be in his bed. And he had a bell, and I won't tell you where I wanted to shove that bell.
God, we can imagine where you. I can't believe you didn't do that.
Honestly, and one day I was working, something. You have to come home. I'm so ill. And I said, look, you've got to get to the doctor. He said, I can't drive. I'm that ill. So I got there. I said, right, I've got your appointment. We're going together. Yeah. And he got there, and the doctor's like, you've got a slight temperature. There's nothing. And he was like that. I know there's more. It was like Oscar-winning performance. So no, and I really do think men just want attention. They want to be mummied, and that's what it's all about. I really do believe that, though they say that they are more sensitive than women, and their antibodies aren't apparently as strong as women. But I don't believe that.
I mean, we have definitely seen over the years. I mean, there is such a range of how people cope with different things.
It's a very diplomatic thing to say.
No, but it is. You do learn that as a GP, though.